Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Velotio Tech Shorts. I'm Pratyush Pranav and I'm a data engineer at Velotio. This session is about a very exciting technology in the data engineering domain. So let's get started. Data clean rooms. The name itself explains this technology to some extent. Let's dive a little deeper into it and find out the what, why, and how. What is a data clean room? It is a software, a SaaS product that helps organizations combine user-level data in a privacy-friendly way. And you'll find a lot of definitions across the web. I like to summarize it as a service to operate on personal data privately. Why are data clean rooms needed? Let's find this out and discuss one of the use cases. Now, different companies and brands want to identify their loyalty customers across different platforms. Why? Let's say a brand X sells headphones and you are searching for new headphones on various marketing platforms. How is brand X going to recognize you on these platforms and show you the headphones of your choice? The way to do it was to use third-party cookies to fetch the user information, which also includes some information that you don't want to be shared. But transferring the sensitive information can put your privacy at risk. New rules and regulations such as GDPR and CCPA, which helps to protect the privacy of user data, are not compliant with this method. So the question for companies like BrandX is, how can they still deliver personalized experiences to their customers and comply with these privacy laws? So the companies like BrandX come from a wide variety of domains, such as CPG and retail, media and entertainment, financial services, travel services, healthcare, and many more. But how is a data clean room useful for these companies? First and foremost, it helps in saving consumer privacy. Data in data clean rooms are compliant with new policies such as GDPR and CCPA that governs the internet. Being compliant with these policies, brands are now allowed to work on consumer data in a privacy-safe manner. Now, this is very important, the easiness to collaborate data with partners. Let's say one of the partners, like a marketplace, has a user dataset which your company requires for analysis or running ad campaigns. Data clean rooms makes it very easy for you to collaborate your dataset with the partner dataset. And as a part of sharing data between partners, control over what others can see from your data is what you want to keep in your hands. And that is how Data Clean Room helps its users. But how all of this works? So multiple parties will collaborate and share their datasets. And the next step, a dataset is picked up, which would be used for analysis. Once the data is identified, it must be cleaned to remove any personal information or sensitive information to protect individuality of users. Then the data is stored in a secure location that is protected from unauthorized access. The data from this secure storage location is then presented to the authorized users, and they can begin to work with the data. With all the good amount of things that data clean rooms can do, let me point out some of the advantages. Data clean rooms provide a secure environment to analyze sensitive data while ensuring that individual privacy is protected. It also ensures compliance with various privacy regulations. And by strictly controlling access to sensitive data, a data clean room minimizes the risk of data breaches and unauthorized access, while also ensuring that data analysis is reliable and accurate. The other side of the coin is setting up a data clean room can prove to be expensive. Access to data clean room may be limited to authorized persons, which can slow down data analysis process. And because data clean rooms are designed to be secure and isolated, they may not be suitable for all data analysis tasks. And also, expanding this facility would not be an easy task. So there are multiple providers of data clean room service. Let me do a quick demonstration of AWS data clean rooms. Right. So I've logged into the AWS account and currently at the AWS Clean Rooms homepage. The concept of data clean rooms is based on the fact that multiple users can share their dataset in a secure environment and collaborate with each other. So I'm going to start using this service by clicking on this button. Let me give a name of this collaboration and add a description. Then we add members who can be a part of this collaboration. So the first member will always be the account of the collaboration creator. So I'm just going to name it as creator. Then we can add another members in this collaboration. So these members will be able to share their dataset and run queries on these dataset that are present in the collaboration. So I'm going to use this member to perform analysis or run queries on the dataset that are present in this collaboration. So I'm going to name it as analyst. Now in this section, we configure which member will be able to run the queries and receive results. So I'm going to use this other account for that purpose. Query logging is to support logging while querying any dataset in this collaboration. So I'm going to leave this checkbox as it is. Cryptographic computing service enables running queries on encrypted data. So I'm going to leave it as it is for now and click on Create and Join Collaboration button. Now, once I create this collaboration, all the members in this collaboration will receive an invitation to join this collaboration. As we can see, one of the two are active right now. Once all the members accept the invitation, all members will become active. Now, here we have the provision to share tables or the data with other members in collaboration. So here we'll see the table shared by me. And in this section, we can see the table shared by other members. So to associate a table, first of all, we need a table in our database. So I have created this table using AWS Glue service. And to configure this table, I'll go to this Configure Tables button and configure a new table. So I select this database and then the table that I want to share. We can see the schema of this table. Hey, in this section, we can control what columns from this table will be allowed to be seen by other users or other members in the collaboration. So we can do a customized list of columns, or we can do all columns. So let's go with the all columns option first. Here we can define the name of this configured table. So I'm going to keep it as it is and click on this configure new table button. So the table is configured, but it's not ready for querying yet. For that, we need to configure analysis rules for this table. The analysis rule control what data will be seen by other members in this collaboration. So if I click on this configure analysis rule, it gives us the option to choose type. Now, do I want the other members to see the aggregated data, or do I want the other members to see the row level list? So I'm going to go with the aggregation one. Here are two methods to create the analysis rule. First one is guided flow, second one is JSON editor. I'm going to go with the guided flow. So I click on next, and here we can define the aggregate function for each column. So if I want only count distinct function can be applied on employee ID column, then we can configure it here. Similarly, if I want only count function to be applied on the name column, then also we can configure it here. So as we have configured it, any other function or selecting employee ID from the table that is present in the collaboration will not work. So the next step is we can configure join controls. So if we want the query to be performed only when the dataset is joined with other dataset, then we can choose the first option. If we want to query only one dataset, then we can choose this to be yes. So it will allow table to be queried by itself. The next is dimension control. If we want the aggregated data to be grouped by any other column, then we can select that column here. I'm going to leave it as a blank for now. Here are some of the functions that can be performed on the columns that we have in the dataset. So right now, I'm going to select all the columns supported by AWS Clean Rooms. I click on next. So in this step, if we are performing aggregation on a column, we can define the minimum number of distinct values that must be present in a column. So if I select employee ID and keep it as 10, then employee ID column must have at least 10 distinct values for the query to be successful. Then I click on next, review all the things that I have configured, and then I click on configure analysis rule. So now this table has been configured with analysis rules and is ready to be associated with the collaboration. So I go back to the collaborations, click on example collaboration here, then associate a table, choose the configure table. Here we can see the schema and also the aggregation analysis rule. It says that employee ID can only be queried if it is a count distinct query on the employee ID. So then I associate this table with the collaboration. So once this is done, this is shown here that from this account, the data clean room table is made available to all the members in this collaboration. So I have switched to the other account in the collaboration. So if I go to the collaborations tab here, I see an invitation to join this collaboration. So if I click on this, then I click on create membership. and I have successfully joined the collaboration. Now, this account was chosen to run queries and see the results. So before doing that, we have to specify the query result setting where the results will be stored. So for that, we need to specify an S3 bucket. So let's just run a query for now. We have to specify it here. I'm going to select one of the buckets. It's going to save the result in CSV format, save changes. And now if I run the valid query on this table, so this is the table that we got from the collaboration. So if we run a valid query on this, this will be saved in this 3 location that we have just provided. So for now, the valid query would look something like this. We can do a count distinct on employee ID and a count on name. If I do it a bit differently and select only the employee ID and run this query, it would tell me that columns is not allowed in select. So employee ID cannot be directly selected from this table. So we must do a count distinct on this column to run this query. So this is what we want to do. We want to control what others can see from our dataset. And by controlling this, we can also ensure that sensitive data is not shared with other users. So we only share what is required for analysis here. So that's a short demo on data clean rooms. Thank you for watching this video. Data clean rooms is a very exciting technology, and there's a lot more to explore in this. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments.